Hello and welcome to the New Zealand Media Review for Monday the 17th of June 2019. I'd just like to remind listeners out there that this is my opinion. It's not necessarily the opinion of New Conservative, although I'm very sure that they would actually support my free speech in doing so. We'll start with looking at New Conservative. They're the most conservative party, as said in their title, but they also have policies that a lot of the other parties wouldn't even go near. But they're good policies. That's what we're going to look at today. So looking on the more part and down to policy, and we'll start off with family policy. New Conservative believes in protecting and promoting the family unit. The natural family unit, consisting of a mother, a father, and children, is vital for the sustainability of our nation, and, as all research shows, provides the best outcomes for society. We are committed to seeing governmental support of this essential unit. We will introduce family-friendly policies and strategies aiming to strengthen, promote, and rebuild this pillar of our society. This bit here is the most essential part of this: a mother, a father, and children. Now, New Conservative, I'm pretty sure, are not saying that, you can't be in a family that doesn't have that, but they are pointing out that that is the best way to go about it: mother, father, and children, which is something that none of the other parties would really say. Right, let's look at the euthanasia policy there, and that's the first one we're going to look at today. New Conservative is opposed to the decriminalisation of euthanasia. We are committed to increasing funding where necessary to provide for the best palliative care possible and to help family members who are caring for the terminally ill. And there are a number of reasons why we should not introduce euthanasia to New Zealand. One, of course, is the slippery slope, which has happened in countries that have introduced euthanasia. But what I like about this is it's clear. It doesn't have to bring out all those arguments. All it does is say, this is what we are going to stand for. And none of the other parties would do it. They'd probably do it on a conscience vote or something like that. We'll talk about euthanasia later. Okay, the first website we're going to look at today is stuff.co.nz. As we can see over here, they've started off the website with some kind of gossip story. Great journalism. Laura spills on the relationship, so apparently someone had a relationship in Dancing with the Stars. Good on you. Not really top news there. Surrounded by trouble, a tsunami might hit us in 45 minutes. It's probably true. I don't know what good that article does to anyone. We're going to look at an article over here about Israel Folau, and they've said he's launched a fresh attack on gay and transgender people. And let's see what form this attack takes. Israel Folau has launched another attack on gay people and also criticised young people being allowed to change gender during a sermon at his Sydney church. You see how they keep going? They just don't stop, do they? First, it's his comments on an Instagram account. That's his Instagram account. Now, some people have said, it's in the public, so, that might have been something to do with his contract. But here, he's doing a sermon in his own church. Are people, leftists, going to go around to churches now and report and get outraged by people in churches doing sermons? The former rugby union star described homosexuality as a sin. Yes, that's what Christians believe. And claimed the devil is behind primary school children being allowed to decide if they want to change their gender. Let's see what the quote says. This is what the devil is trying to do, to instill into the government, into this world, into society, and it is slowly happening, Folau said in his Sunday sermon at the Truth of Jesus Christ Church in Kenthurst. Okay, he's saying things in a sermon in a church. He believes in the devil because he's a Christian. And I would actually have to say that even if you don't believe in the devil, allowing primary school children to decide if they want to change gender is actually pretty evil. It's actually not a good thing. Especially when they start giving them, puberty blockers and extra hormones from the other gender that they're not. I mean, that kind of stuff harms children. And then they eventually, have an operation. What else does he say? They say that a man and a man should be able to be married, and there is nothing wrong with it. This buys into the theme of pleasing man rather than pleasing God and standing up for the truth. Right. What's wrong with that? Israel Folau is repeating what it says in the Bible. That you shouldn't please man, you should please God. And the truth that he's found is in the Bible. That's because he believes the Bible, and he's preaching in a church. Oh, but here's the real kicker. The 30-year-old sermon was posted on the church's Facebook page. What this is really doing, what they're really doing here is saying, you need to watch out. If you're a pastor, don't post anything, any of your sermons on any of your pages, if it contains anything that's against the status quo, against LGBT. Otherwise, we'll come after you. Okay. Moving down. And this one actually links with the policy that we saw on the New Conservative page. ACT won't change its name. And ACT is sort of coming out and saying that they want freedom of speech, etc. There's David Seymour there. They won't be changing its name in a high-touted rebrand this week. There's a shift to the right on policy to create a clearer differentiation from national and a major focus on free speech issues. Good on ACT for going for free speech issues. The problem that ACT has is that euthanasia is a leftist policy. It's what the SJWs want. It's what the people on the far left want. They want euthanasia in. And yet he's saying, oh yes, I'm going to stand up for all these conservative values, but I'm also going to stand up for euthanasia. That's why ACT will not get the conservative vote. He'll stay at about 0.2, 0.3%. I'm not sure what they had last time. But he will not get anywhere near 5% for his party. He needs to drop euthanasia, and then he'll start building up votes. But, okay, back to the Stuff website. Looking down here, we've got... what I found interesting about this is today, I don't know if it's a slow news day or maybe they're getting sick of it, there's actually nothing on Trump.
You are fake news.
Nothing at all. Which, I'm quite happy about. Good on you. Nothing on Trump. Excellent. Anyway, looking over at newsherald.co.nz, it starts with the Kiwi Whizzes who helped win the Aussie election. You know what actually helped win the Aussie election? This guy. Because he was basically fired before the election. And honest, good, hard-working Australian people who don't care about elections care about things like this. And that's why the Conservative people got in. But we'll keep making up other stories about why they got in. Right, another story that seems to be in the headlines quite a lot right now is about babies being uplifted or taken away from their mother pretty shortly after they've been born from the hospitals. And to be honest, that would only really happen in dire circumstances, really dire circumstances, where clearly there's huge amount of drug use, a lot of abuse happening in the house, and social workers often have to make those judgment calls. Stacey Morrison here has a story of when she was giving birth and she saw a mother whose newborn baby had just been uplifted and she was searching the hospital for her baby, and that obviously, especially after you've just had a child, would, oh my goodness, it would sound terrible. And you'd be full of emotions. And the problem is that emotion actually does take over. The question she asks is, was that mother given a proper chance, or was she just judged? Here is the problem. Social workers have to judge. They have to use their judgment and say, is this baby going to be born into a loving family that will treat it well, or is there a chance that there's danger? If there's a chance that there's danger, we can't actually have that baby with that mother. And so, to answer your question, Stacey, was she just judged? Yes, she was judged. People use their judgment, and they thought, well, it's safer for the baby if they're not with the mother. It doesn't matter that she wanted to be with her baby. It matters that the baby is safe. Okay, and thank you for listening in to the New Zealand Media Review for the 17th of June 2019. I hope you have a great week, and remember,